Our president will give a speech out of the advanced manual. Speech number 3.
Project 2. It's the make them laugh.
Oh, different
Project
manual than
3
yesterday.
out of the entertaining speaker.
Entertaining speaker.
Project 3.
Project 3, okay. Recently completed, did you get your green card?
I'm waiting on 2 signatures. I am on the cusp.
Ready to get out and head to gentler pastures on his way to the rocky outpost known as South Korea.
Yes.
We welcome to the lectern our president, Glenn Tolle.
The title of my speech, Truth or Consequences, gives one pause, for truth has an important part in all of our lives. Some take license with the truth. They choose to embellish it and make it a little bit off what the truth is. And others take a different approach to exposing truth within their families. I am of the opinion that sometimes you have to bend the truth so that you don't break a little heart, such as the scene that was in Patriot Games where Harrison Ford's character called and said, is the goldfish dead? No, replace the goldfish. And then when they get home from their vacation, look, Goldie is alive and swimming, everything is fine. That was not exactly the truth, but you bent it for the sake of a little girl's heart, which I think is okay. This leads to a point that we are all familiar with. Intermarital relations are based on truth. Truth is the stuff that trust is made of. Sometimes the truth has to be bent. And pets within the household are a litmus test for family relationships and truth within the household. The vignette takes us back to 1989. Second Lieutenant Tolle with a cadre of second lieutenants in the armor school preparing for the 10-day war on M68-3 tanks. We're not quite up to the Israeli standard because in 1967 they could do it in 6 days, but it took us 10 days. We'll get there eventually. But one lieutenant had a wife who loved the family cat. And the cat's name, Fluffy, was a kind of an impediment between Norm and Marge. And that Marge loved Fluffy, but Norm didn't really care for Fluffy. Probably a dog person. But there was a phone call that took place when Marge was out visiting with the other wives within the officers' club, and they're out doing their wife thing, while Norm is home preparing for the 10-day war, because in 1989, the digital maps were not common back then. We had to use old-fashioned paper maps. And in order to prepare for a horrendous 10 days in the field, which I dipped my tank into a large swamp and came out dripping mud from head to toe, but of course that's a tale for another time. The map is laid out and you put sticky acetate on the map in order to weatherproof it, and you put acetate on the front, you get all the bubbles out of the map, and then you flip it over and you acetate the back. And if you go down to Kinko's, like I did for the status boards for the club, you can get a nice laminated thing that can withstand everything short of a nuclear explosion. So the second lieutenant, Norm, has his sticky acetate laying on the coffee table, prepared for, you can see this coming, preparing to put his map on this. And he's on the phone with his buddy. He says, yeah, I'm getting my map ready for the 10-day war. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Tanks, you know, God bless America. We're going to go out and learn how to defend our country. And as he's talking to his fellow lieutenant on the phone, which happened to pick up sound very well throughout the house, Fluffy comes walking over and jumps on the coffee table onto the sticky acetate. The sticky acetate is laying face up, so the sticky side is up, of course. So in just a matter of seconds, this little kind purring machine turns into a snarling ball of feline self-acetated fury. Just flying all over the place and acetate and turning into a ball of cat wrapped in plastic. And Norm's friend, what is that? It sounds like a cat dying in the background. My wife's cat jumped on the coffee table and I had my acetate on. Now, wait a second, let me try to and it's like snarling and hissing and trying to take the acetate off the cat and biting and. God, that does sound like a cat dying. Yeah, well, I'm going to have to call you back. The cat is all wrapped up in acetate, and I'm going to have to do something about this. I'll talk to you later. Well, we'll do lunch next week. Okay, good, bye. So he takes, trying to extricate the cat out of this mess, and the only thing that he can do is take and give a big ring. Okay. Anyway, he takes the acetate and flips the cat out of the acetate, and fur flies all over the house, and the cat goes out of the house. And now he's like, oh, God, I can't let Marge see this. So he vacuums the house and tries to get everything just right, and he takes the acetate and throws it away and puts another. You know, the cat's outside now, so he can go ahead and get his map ready. So Marge comes back from the officers' wives' meeting. Norm? There's something wrong with Fluffy. Look, she's missing fur. Look, it looks like it's coming down with mange or something. Norm's like, yeah, it looks pretty serious. I don't know, I might have caught something from next door. Marge said, we can take it to the vet. Okay. A couple days and over $100 later, I bring the cat and it's like, nothing wrong. It looks like it had an encounter either with a pit bull or a weed whacker. I'm not quite sure. It's like, Norm, yeah, I don't know what really happened. So, the following week, they're sitting down at lunch with the fellow lieutenant, and in the course of the meal, the lieutenant turns over and cavalierly asks, Norm, did you ever get that cat untangled out of that acetate?
Oh, no.
And the daggers, Jinsu knives exchanged between Marge and Norm. And so, my fellow Americans, as you exercise your relationships with each other, truth is the best policy between married couples. Always tell the truth, even though it hurts. Mr.
Very funny.
You can't hurt a Marine by anything. Oh.